If you want to know how to read faster, you've probably already read some speed reading books and tried their advice to stop subvocalizing and reduce backskipping. What if I told you that such speed reading techniques are probably a waste of time for most serious learners who have big goals in their lives? And what if I can prove it? Well, let's use logic alone for starters and look at why speed reading trainings do not and cannot work for many people, even if they master strange eye movements and silencing their inner voice, which is a truly tragic idea. Keep that tragedy in mind, because there are at least 3 reasons why speed reading won't work for a vast majority of people, even if those people tell you that it does. Remember, a lot of people suffer from sunk cost fallacy and simply don't want to admit that they've spent time on things that don't work, so compensate through self-delusion. That, or they're just not qualified scientists capable of properly measuring their reading speeds and comprehension results. So with those points in mind, these main reasons the main speed reading hacks can't and won't work for most people boil down to a limited vocabulary, a limited understanding of the field of study, and a lack of reading strategy. Think of it like this. Even if techniques like controlling your eyes better and silencing your inner voice helped you, so what? If you don't know what even a small percentage of words means and lack familiarity with the topic area, you're not going to understand anything any faster. In fact, using those techniques risks that you never understand anything at all. In such cases, you do better reading slowly, looking up words and terms, and interrupting your flow to aid understanding by reading outside of the main text. So if you're learning to read faster, what are the fundamental speed reading techniques that will help you zip through multiple books in a single day? Well, as someone who blazes through multiple books all the time, reading intelligently and applying speed in ways that make sense is something I can help you achieve. And here's the best part. I can help you read quickly without giving yourself the headaches most speed reading courses induce. So let's get started. If you want to read faster, you have to practice reading more often. And the best way involves creating a reading plan for yourself. That way, you can develop topic mastery based on a combination of vocabulary, specific terminology, history, and the perspectives of the main players in the field. For example, when I was researching my book, The Victorious Mind, I created a 90-day reading plan. That way, when using all the techniques you'll discover in this video, I was reading in a direction that was leading me to a specific goal. Creating your own reading plan takes some practice, but here are some suggestions. These considerations are important because if you want to read faster, you need to develop familiarity with the topic. Find the definitive textbook or most famous book on the topic. For example, when I started a reading project on consciousness, I quickly found out that Gödel Escher Bach is a key text in the field. Find 2 to 3 articles about the book and read these. Go beyond the Wikipedia page. Find 2 to 3 videos. Find 2 to 3 podcasts. Use my How to Memorize a Textbook strategy as you read to call out the information you want to remember. And then follow up with 2 to 3 of the books mentioned in the definitive textbook. So in massive tomes like Gödel Escher Bach, you'll discover endless reading suggestions. So setting a limit is really, really important. How will adding more material to your main book help you read faster? We'll get to that in a second, but first, a quick thank you to our regular viewers. It encourages me so much that learning has a future when I see that you've shared these videos around, all the thumbs up and the comments. Thanks too to those of you in the Magnetic Mary Method Masterclass, those who are channel members, and special thanks to those of you who have both covered. You're the best. Those are just some of the ways you can support the Magnetic Mary Method initiative, and everyone on Team Magnetic appreciates it very much. Now, my friend and fellow memory expert Jonathan Levy calls this tactic of adding more material brute force learning. It also relates to a special, scientifically valid principle called interleaving that we'll discuss further on in our reading series. The answer behind why brute force learning by adding more material helps is simple. When you start with the fundamentals and develop knowledge of the field, you'll give yourself the most important reading skill in the world: pattern recognition. In setting proper reading goals, you're learning what it means to know your field. The more you know, the more you can know, and that will naturally help your brain recognize big and important ideas faster, connect them to fundamental concepts in instantly memorable ways, and use multiple mediums like video and audio to tap into more representations of your brain and add more perspectives, from others who have read the book. Now note, I personally expect every beginning to be front-loaded with more effort. Only after some pattern recognition has been developed do I expect to read and understand faster. However, we want to make sure we don't fall into what is sometimes called collector's fallacy, or spending more time gathering material than engaging with it. This is why when I suggest 2 to 3 other resources, I really mean 2 to 3. To develop this level of pattern recognition as quickly as possible, we'll look at the next powerful strategy in part 3 of this playlist, where we'll include the principle of interleaving. And if you want more tips that relate to reading better immediately, hit that thumbs up, get involved in the discussion, and watch How to Memorize a Textbook next.